This is the Bad Samaritans Podcast, coming live from Berkeley, California.
Yee.
How we doing, bro?
We're doing all right, bro.
Nice.
Preseason's over. Fantasy's over, or fantasy draft's over. It's time for football. I'm excited.
Agreed. All right, so we got a quick jam-packed check for y'all. We're going to spend a couple minutes on the whole Trey situation, and then a Bosa update, and then a little week one preview. So let's just get to it, man. I think last time we talked, we were worried about keeping Trey, really looking to invest in him and, give him some time at the number 3 and see what things will happen during the season. Maybe he'll grow into something. Maybe he'll get the reps. Someone will get injured. Definitely we don't think either of us had given up on him. As of today, September 6th, Trey Lance is a Dallas Cowboy. Your thoughts?
Never traded Dallas. But I feel like this is the best thing for both sides. It was sad that Trey just didn't get the opportunities that he wanted to in the Niners. And there was really no space for it. We're kind of a win team now, and that project is, long far away.
Yeah, I think ultimately Kyle just caught the L. I think he, at the time when he got him, it kind of made sense. I think they have a timeline out there on Twitter where, the season we drafted him, we were in a little bit of a retooling mode. He got that injury versus the Raiders, cracked his finger, lost a lot of time in that preseason. I think we were looking for him to play that season, probably around the Houston Texans game or maybe in the Titans game where Jimmy was I think he messed up his thumb. And we were like, oh, put Trey in. Why isn't he playing? Kyle hits Trey. But I just don't think the kid ever got the time or the shot based off his injury. The following season, we went all in. We basically locked Jimmy out of the building so that Trey would get a chance. And, in the second start or the first start? No, the second start, because the first start was the Monsoon game with the Chicago Bears. Trey breaks his ankle. And I think the questions of why is he playing the power run or why isn't he in the pocket? I think when we saw this preseason game, the boy got no short pass. It's clear that he wasn't able to do the things that Kyle was expecting him to do. And even in that little experimental season when him and Jimmy were going back and forth, it was clear that Kyle was uncomfortable calling plays for him.
No, definitely. Looking at this preseason game, we see that Kyle Shanahan's system is just too complicated for the kid. He was turning down a lot of open guys and wasn't hitting the right spots. And in Kyle Shanahan's system, you have to do that. It's necessary. You can't. There's not a lot of room for creativity if you don't get those shots in.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think there is room for creativity if you handle the basics. I think about someone I was watching something on Instagram. Someone came into a shop and they're it was a boxing shop. And they're like, oh, I want to learn peekaboo style. And the guy's like, bro, you're going to learn basics first. And I think with Trey, he wasn't getting the basics down to the way that Kyle liked it. You could just clearly tell. And the dude just likes reps. He's reps. He's not done. I think he's for sure going to get a shot somewhere. I think, I think we were making the argument last season or the season before. It's hey, what's better, to be on the bench and be Trey Lance or be out there on the field getting wrecked like Justin Fields on the Bears? And who's to say? Over the next 10 years, Trey might turn into a great quarterback. I was ready for it to just be a Geno Smith situation where he didn't live up to his draft stock, but he's going to be a good quarterback and he's going to fit the system that you put around him. But I think with the visibility and I think that's part of the distraction, I think that's also a big reason why we moved on. I think maybe if we're a smaller market, if we're not the San Francisco 49ers, maybe you can stash him at the QB3 spot. But
or you just make him QB2 and you just ride it.
What was that?
You just make him QB2 and you just ride that train for a bit.
Yeah, and that was gonna be my last point. That I also think that Kyle just was I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I think if you do want to keep Trey, you can say whatever, bro. People be saying whatever. You just make him too.
Yeah, you just make him too.
And then if Purdy were to get hurt and you really did think that Sam Darnold was better,
then you make Sam Darnold too.
You just make Sam Darnold too. You know? And so like it was very clear to me this off season that Kyle was not doing any additional favors to Trey that he had been doing to him in previous seasons. I mean, and I compare it to like the other teams, or I'm sorry, the other teammates, where it's like, oh, Ayuk is in a doghouse. Oh, he needs to do this.
Yeah.
Like there was none of that talk with Trey.
No.
Very complimentary. They were very mindful and intentional to like not hurt the dude's feelings
Or his stock.
And so like I think that was very telling.
Yeah.
But
a good segue to this, talking about the Trey's thing and his departure. I think also a big reason why we did ended up wanting to leave him go was because we needed that Bosa extension. And those millions have, we needed to count every single penny into this last couple of days.
Yeah, I think definitely what happened is the 49ers window was closing. They retooled, and then I don't know if it's luck, I don't know if it's skill, but Brock Purdy just saved that championship window, because that last pick of the draft contract money is going to allow us to do what we just did. Keep Bosa. I already just saw that Trent Williams and George Kittle just restructured a couple millions. I think it's around 23 million total.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to see a lot more restrictions going on. I expect Armstead to do it. I expect Warner to do it. We're going to see what
whoever needs to get paid.
We're going to see what happens with Dre Greenlaw. I think he has an extension for the next 2 years. He might want to kick up. But we're seeing what we saw with the old Niners of those 2010s Harbaugh teams. Patrick Willis, Bowman, Sopoaga, Justin Smith, that secondary, all of them would consistently restructure to make this team work.
Yep.
And, barring a couple different coaching and GM personnel decisions, that team could have been a championship team. And so I think I like what I'm seeing here culture-wise from this squad. I think they understand the benefit and the value that each of them bring. And so I hope that, it pays off for them, and then they can actually, bring one home this season.
Yeah, it sounds kind of corny when I'm thinking about it right now, but this team's giving me a lot of, young Tom Brady Patriot vibes. Late round pick quarterback, plays out of his mind, is taking team-friendly deals, and they're allowed to sign big names and, create a big defense for them to go on a really good run. And I'm not going to say that we're in that level of dynasty route, just because our ownership doesn't match the same, but this team does feel somewhat similar to that, where everybody on the team really, really wants to win. And I like
coulda, shoulda, man. This team needs to win a ship. It needs to stop playing. I think it's great to be in championship contention every season, but ultimately you got to win one for it to count. We've been at this for over a decade. The guys are close. We get into bad seasons. Being an NFC ship champ, so many situations in the past couple of seasons has been great, but signing Nick Bosa needs to mean something. And so he needs to at least tie or do some disruptive things in this division so that we can validate the value that we just put in him.
Nick Bosa, I think, can do it. I think he has done it, Whenever he's on the field, he's not Ed Reed where you have to know where he's at, but if Bosa's on the field, he has eyes on him. So I have full faith in Nick Bosa. He had a couple of injuries which, slowed him down for those years, but it doesn't seem like it's really, acting up or creeping up like that. I think he's a valuable asset to our team. I think if he's not on our team, our defense just isn't all that all the times, He's kind of the cornerstone of what our defense means, which is just straight dogs always going. We're nothing without our pass rush, and I don't think you get rid of your best pass rusher because you don't want to pay him. I think he deserves it. I don't think there's a lot of other pass rushers like him. And I'm happy to have him for 5 more years.
Yeah. Agreed. I just get worried about, the overall maths of the rest of the guys, right? I think, it is what it is, but I'm actually really excited to see how him and Hargrave look together on the same side. I'm curious to see what the rest of the D-line looks like. We haven't really seen all of them play together at all in the past month, so it's been really just we've just been floating in ambiguity. And right now, what I want to see is what Drake Laxton, Eric Armstead, Hargrave, Bosa look like when they line up on first and second down? Like, how disruptive is that? Who are we rotating in? How does this new Steve Wilkes scheme look?
Dude,
I'm hearing that we're blitzing more. I'm hearing the linebackers blitz, that we're bringing the safety down. Are we still going to have a good run stop team? Because typically when you blitz a lot, you might give up some runs like we saw in that preseason game with that missed assignment.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, I know it's preseason. People say it don't matter. But, like, how is it that we have been fortunate enough to go from defensive coordinator to defensive coordinator and actually improve, that I actually wouldn't be surprised if we regress
declines
a little bit?
Yeah, no, I expect that too. I'm watching these speeches and games. I'm not a huge fan of what Steve Wilkes kind of brings. I don't think it's anything revolutionary with like D'Amico or Robert Saleh did. I think it's just kind of standard, 4-down linemen when blitzing once in a while. I do like how he's using the blitzers like Hufanga. He blitzes Warner sometimes, or like those inside backs. I think it kind of doesn't cater to the style of linebackers that we have. So I think it does leave us open, or at least it's more volatile as a defense. But I do understand that sentiment where maybe our defense isn't, what wins us games this year. Maybe we really do have to rely on the offense. And thank God that we have a system or Brock Purdy or Christian McCaffrey or whatever the hell is winning us games this year. I feel a lot more comfortable with relying on the offense than I have in the past 3 years.
Agreed. I think, would you share your stat with me that I think we're averaging like 30 points per game with Brock Purdy?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good trend. We were definitely, I think when we were Jimmy, it was around 24. I may just be saying something.
Or it was less. Well, Jimmy's red zone was it was pretty much atrocious. And we couldn't run the ball into the end zone. And so, because teams would know, like, well, let's stuff the box. And so I think this team has a lot of different pieces where it's hard to, just pick out where the ball is going to go. I feel like week 1 is a real test because now teams have had a full offseason to prepare for Brock Purdy.
Agreed.
And we're going to really see
I think they're going to blitz them.
Like this Steelers game, the Steelers defense is good. I think this is going to be a litmus test of what Brock Purdy really brings.
Bro, TJ Watt on the right side, Colton McKivitz is going to, man. I hope that boy is like having his Wheaties, having whatever sort of performance things that are allowed in his system right now. All sorts of medicines. I don't know what the blocking
hope he's
scheme
rubbing
is.
vapor rub on his chest every night.
Bro, vapor rub mixed with some Tiger Balm and a little cardamom, like something, bro. Like I need juice check. I need Kittle. I need everything on the right side.
New boy from,
because if the first play from scrimmage is a blitz off the right side and Purdy just gets wrecked, there goes my
hopes.
Yeah. And from what I think my biggest criticism of Kyle over the last couple of seasons has just been his poor like blocking scheme when it comes to like drop back passes. And I get it. It's a zone blocking scheme. The guys are small up front. We're going to do a lot of running. We're going to do a lot of play action pass. But as we start seeing increasingly across the league with these like super beastly human edge rushers, you need to be able to pass protect. Just straight up stand your ground or resist enough so that Brock can step into the pocket and do some of that creativity you spoke about earlier and make plays happen. Yeah. Because that's how we're gonna win or lose this season.
Yeah, that's how we lost last season. The right side of McGlinchey and whoever that tight end was didn't block Hassan Reddick, and Brock got rocked, bro. And I don't know. See, this I want to touch on your point of Kyle Shanahan's O lineman like just really being trash, and I don't know whether Mike McGlinchey missed an assignment of chipping Hassan Reddick or wherever, or maybe he wasn't even supposed to block him and our tight end dropped the ball. But I think he hasn't developed an O-line, and I don't know if it's his fault or our own line coach, but our own lineman just can't step up to the plate when the game is on the line, and I think that's what wins you Super Bowls. I think that's what
they don't value that position high enough. Like, is it because I was thinking about it since we spoke about it last time, right? And it's like, okay, like the counter to my statement is, well, we got Richburg, but then the dude breaks his leg, and then we had Joe Staley. Dude got injured too, and we had no like actual foreseeable plan. Us getting Trent Williams was like a miracle, to be honest.
Dude, he was going to be a Chief.
You're not going to be getting Trent Williams every other offseason.
Yeah, no.
And if that's the case, it's like, you know, Aaron Banks, for the first season we needed him, still need a full season to develop. Like, is it so complicated that you can't draft guys out of college that are ready to play, even at a high draft pick? I think Banks is a second rounder.
Yeah, and I think Kyle just drafts guys that don't fit his scheme.
Right. What was the other guy? The other Brown.
His name is Spencer Burford.
No, it's the other Trent Brown.
Oh, Trent Brown.
Trent Brown, not Trent Williams. Sorry, Trent Brown.
Other
he
Brown?
ended up being a Raider and a Patriot. Remember?
Yeah.
Like,
Trent Brown's great.
That's a huge man.
And he's great.
You know, and he wasn't bad. He's
No.
gotten cashed out from a couple teams.
No,
he's for sure serviceable.
He's a quality
But
right
it's like
tackle.
he's not built for this scheme.
No.
So it's like, why'd you draft this guy who's not built for this scheme?
I don't think he understands.
Well, and then furthermore, you have Laken Tomlinson,
Who understands the scheme.
who understands the scheme, played really well with Williams, and you already were developing Aaron Banks. If
You
you
could have
keep
two solid
those
guards.
three, we're solid.
Yeah. We could have had a solid guard.
You already plan on letting McGlinchey walk, and so it's like, if you're gonna let him walk, 3 studs on the offensive line, then we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not even. I am.
Who's our center?
That's what I was
Is
about
it
to get to. I think it's Jake Brendel.
Oh my
But that's
God.
what I was getting. I was about to get to. I am worried about the right tackle position, but it's not as worried I am as I am of center.
Bro, from everything after Aaron Banks is just scary, bro.
No,
What is this?
Spencer Beeford is pretty good. He does mess up at times, and he's pretty young, but he's pretty talented, and I do trust his like technique and skill as a guard. But yeah, everything after
Bro, he's decent, bro.
everything to the right of Aaron Banks is really shaky.
And that's to say, that's assuming that Aaron Banks is not going to regress or anything.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and my thing is like, it's not even the starters, bro. Like, we need depth. You
Yeah,
know?
I don't understand.
And like, who's our swing?
No one.
Our O line is so suspect.
It's pretty C minus,
Like, bro, like
maybe D.
the Eagles still have a dope ass D line.
and they still have
they're-
a good O line.
They're well, I'm saying in terms of matchup.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna destroy our O line. Our right side is trash.
It's garbage.
George Kittle, I hope he's like,
I think
he's ready, bro.
I hope he's ready, man. I
Because
hope
he's gonna be blocking his ass off this season.
He better be drinking all kind of Ensure and protein. He needs to get beefy this year, man.
Bro, straight up, him and Juice Check, bro, they're gonna be camping out.
Yeah.
And I need like, you know what? Maybe gotta go jumbo in the backfield. And I want to see like
I like Brock and
Debo,
shotgun.
Juice, and McCaffrey just chip whoever's coming off the right side.
I think the Niners are trying to make a move, before the trade deadline to get.
You think so?
We're freeing up some money, which is interesting. I mean, the Niners we're always good with our money, but I do think since we didn't take anybody during
Fiscal
the
responsibility.
yeah, we got it, but we didn't take anyone during the offseason, which we should have, and we didn't draft anyone, which we should have. So I was like, well, if you're not answering these problems in these 2 first stages, then I hope to God that you're gonna solve it in the middle of the season. So you can get a guy who's maybe semi-healthy, who's kind of fresher, and we're gonna go into the playoffs with a new tackle, and we're not gonna have this problem, and we're gonna dominate teams, and that's how we win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, just someone start calling Taylor Lewan. Be like, bro, we
Bro.
just need you for a few games.
Yeah.
Get back in game
And
shape. I get it.
You can switch, bro. We can roll you out like a hockey lineup, bro. Like, hey,
Yeah.
take Taylor out, bro.
Yeah,
You're on
just for a
snap
couple
count.
snaps.
Yeah, a couple.
Let's
snaps.
get you a ring, baby.
Let's get you one.
Don't you want a ring? Do
Don't
you
you-
want one? Just a ring.
We can get 2, bro. It's.
I remember them
possible.
asking that. He said, nah, he'd never play right tackle. But I'm like, come on, bro.
How hard could it be? You just gotta do the shuffle step the other side.
No, I don't think it's the difficulty. He's for sure talented enough to play. He just doesn't want to.
He just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
It
He's
sucks.
doing good on his own podcast and stuff. But shout out to Taylor Lewan. He a beast. But yeah, man.
Shout out to
So,
Bustin'
okay.
with the boys.
Team aside, let's look at the matchup. Quick over/under. What are we doing versus the Steelers this weekend?
The
Are we
Steelers.
winning the game?
We're slaying.
Are
Oh,
we
we're for
losing?
sure winning the game.
We got a little rust on us?
Nah,
We haven't had Bosa?
No, we're winning this game. I think Kenny Pickett's throwing at least a pick. I'm going for 2 picks.
He's not going to go like Shador Sanders and drop 500 on us?
No. Nah, he's not a dog, bro.
No?
Shador's a dog, bro.
And a leader, bro.
And a leader, bro. He's a beast. No, but Kenny Pickett, I mean, I like that Steelers team. I just don't. I think they're kind of figuring themselves out on offense. So I trust our defense to hold them under 15.
Whoa, bold prediction.
Under 15. And I think it's like, I'll say 14, 20, 24. 14-24 Niners.
Damn. Okay. I'm similar, but I think it's gonna be 24-17.
24-17. All right, yeah. I don't think they get over that 15 mark. I don't think they score in the first half. I think our defense is pretty excited to play football this year, and we're looking pretty good. So I don't think they score in the first half. If they do, it's probably beginning and end of third quarter, and we hold them all over fourth. But I don't know. On offense, that defense is many.
It's a good defense.
It's a good defense. I think we do struggle running the ball, especially up the middle. Mm-hmm. I didn't like whatever I saw with JP and TDP this preseason.
Bro,
with those
TDP cannot pass block. I saw Frank Gore on the practice field. Get my man in there and teach my man how to pass block.
I think that's what they're doing, bro.
Otherwise, we're gonna lose another quarterback.
TDP has a lot of issues that I've been seeing these past couple of years, where he can't break the first contact, which is critical as a running back in our carousel. Is the first person that touches you is dead, and you keep running for at least 3 extra yards. That's rule number 1. He can't do that. He gets touched and he just sinks. He can't pass block, and if he does, he like almost kills our quarterback. And you're like, well, we don't need that. And so he also can't run good check down routes.
He looks like he's in the wrong spot.
He just looks like he's kind of lost.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
But it could be also that the line was bad. They weren't doing the right assignments.
It could be.
You know,
maybe
there's too much. There's enough there that I'm for sure concerned about it.
Yeah, I am for sure concerned about TDP. I mean, Eli's going to be Eli. He's going to be injured for half the year, but he's still going to run the ball consistently like he does. He averages 4 yards a run. Like he's just.
Is he playing?
No, he's. Yeah. I think he's out. But when he comes back, and then McCaffrey. I think McCaffrey's going to score at least a touchdown. He's a beast. He might throw a touchdown. Who knows, bro? McCaffrey's God. And I think Ayuk is going to be like a star player of this game. I think this is where.
Ayuk's having a coming out party in the first 4 games of the season. And I don't know if it's the Steelers, but he's coming out.
He's gonna come out hot. Yeah, he's gonna moss someone. He's gonna do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
But he's gonna come out for the first 4 or 5 games of this season, and he might like die down and then come back in the end of the playoffs, or maybe not. But
no, Ayuk's for sure a 1,000-yard receiver again this season.
Yeah.
He's a beast, barring injury.
Yeah, but all right. Yeah, that's week 1. I think we win it. I think we go into week 2 with good vibes.
Cool. Well, let's call it, man. We'll see you guys after the game. Talk to you soon.